All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing and liking the videos. We truly appreciate it. It looks like Tesla got the message about the regressive nature of 69.2.4 and have gone ahead and pushed out 69.3, which is pretty great. This particular release brings us to parity in terms of software features with the main branch. So we get all the new features that people on beta have been missing for quite some while. So I want to talk about that first, and then we'll jump into our first drive. And of course, if you want to skip ahead, you can click the description below, or you can look at the timeline on the video and skip ahead to the actual drive if you don't care about the new features. No problem. All right. So coming up first and foremost, the first thing that we have here, most notably here in the new S and X, is going to be the icons that are back now. We got the icons back. Our camera button, although way over here, is still here versus having to go into the menu and press it. We have our lock button, Sentry mode, and our profiles right here on the map here, overlaying the map the way that it used to be, the way that it's always been prior to the refresh. I think the refresh Model S and X have been the only ones that have not had these icons on them since their release and debut. Okay, so that's the first thing we have here, which is great. The next thing you notice here on the map is that now that we have the maps running with the latest updates, we now have the new visualization for the maps to show exactly where and how traffic is going to impact our destination, as well as alternate routes, being able to choose alternate routes here for each destination. So if I go here and just go here, I can now choose between this path, this route, or that route. So that's really, really welcome, really, really clutch. I did a video on this before, but now to see it here in the new S with the quicker screens, the quicker processors is pretty cool. The other thing that we have here in the menus is some other updates in the menu, specifically around tire pressure. We get the tire pressure details, right? So to understand what the recommended cold tire pressure is, as well as the actual, and this also syncs to our app, allowing us to be able to see the last recorded tire pressure in the car. This car has actually had a flat while on beta, and we weren't able to know that other than go into the car to see it because we couldn't check it through the app. Now we can check it through the app, but we'll be able to see if your car is getting a flat, if it has a leak, etc. From the app, which is really, really good, as well as the additional calibration settings for the different wheels and tire configurations that you may have, as well as driver seats and mirror calibration settings here as well. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's it. That's it for the menu. That's it for what you get in this menu. Really, really big feature here for tire pressure, being able to monitor that and see that, as well as the additional configuration. Okay, so that's that. And then we also, like I said, the maps. But the other big thing, the big clutch thing, is that we have the energy graph back. The new energy graph that they updated and revamped is now available here on the new Model S Plaid. So that's pretty awesome, being able to see the details of driver consumption based on your live projection of your trip, or if you don't have a trip plan, just what your idle state is. So this is in drive, showing you all the details of driving, climate, battery conditioning, elevation, and everything else that contributes to your range or impacts your range. And then you'll also see the park status, what's happening when you're parked, and how that's also contributing to your range. And you can use since last drive, and maybe some other profiles as well once you start to drive. This is brand new for us, so we don't have a lot of data for it to pull from, but this is great. Happy to have these new features. Happy to have everything that it has here in terms of the details. I think the other thing that we had here were the supercharger details, being able to see more details about superchargers and being able to see the peak times and the peak rates, so on and so forth, and the amenities and such. So that's pretty cool. And when you click on the icons, you can now be brought to whatever shopping is relevant to that particular supercharger in that area. That's also pretty cool. Okay, so that's really, really good features that we've been missing out on, watching everybody else have the fun with these features. And now that we have them, that's pretty awesome. All right, so that's pretty much it in terms of the notable major updates for this build for those that have been on the beta and have not had the main features and the main branch. So this is pretty much it. Now let's jump into the release notes for FSD Beta 10.69.3. Lots of updates here, lots of detail here regarding FSD Beta 10.69.3. Lots of specific updates around lanes and the trajectory model for which the car drives. So basically, lanes have been optimized and the car should ride a lot smoother than it did before. We're going to put that to the test. Lots and lots and lots of details here. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but I just want to see how it actually drives on our path. Still the big bump there, the big pothole. Has a hard time avoiding that nowadays because it gets too far over to the right. But let's just see what happens. Based on 2.4, I'm not expecting too much change just because of how quickly it was before they released it. But let's see what happens. Turn here, it's gonna get into the shoulder just to make the turn. Wait, maybe not. Wow, okay. Much better, a little slow, but much better turn not going into the shoulder. Let's see if it goes wide here. Slows down tremendously here. A little cautious and wide. Okay. All right, so far, the first turn was pretty good. I like that turn. A little bit slow on the mile an hour, but good positioning for the turn. It's natural, it's human-like. Doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. Taking this turn nicely. Very good so far. Sunny conditions, different than last drive. The leaves may also help with the barriers of the road. See what happens with this unprotected left. Unprotected left, all clear all around. I'm gonna stop there because it wanted to go and this person was coming. So that wasn't great decision making there. It wanted to go at the last minute, which was very awkward. So maybe an anomaly, but not a good look again. Hesitating going halfway through the intersection and then trying to make its mind up is not the right thing to do. It should wait till cars are clear or a good enough distance away, then go to its creep limit and then start to proceed forward. But if a car's coming, it has to hold. It has to hold and let the car go, especially if there's no turn signals on that car. Keeping my eye out also for any new visualizations in this particular build. And for the second pass, we're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go a different way, a different route, and see how that fares, leveraging the sun being an obstacle for these cameras in this vision-based system and seeing how that does. So far, the visuals have been pretty consistent. Same thing. We see cones, we see cars, no new graphics, so to speak. Little odd on this getting into this lane, but not terrible. The true test is going to be coming up here where we see it sort of gravitate towards the center line and then weave back to the right and then try to come back again. It might do that same behavior, but so far I'm happy to be proven wrong on a lot of the things, or some of the things that I thought it was going to do, specifically with that first turn. The second turn. The first turn definitely did the exact same thing, went over that same manhole, pothole. So that wasn't good. And again, just hesitant when it comes out. It may have to do with its ability to see, left and right directly and further down the road, but we'll see. See what happens. Okay. Doing exactly like I said, staying here on the left, now veering back to, wait, it's fighting it. Okay, let's go. It fought it. I could see the path planner sort of deciding, hey, I want to go this way, I want to go that way. And I guess the new code or the new update is telling it to go straight, and that's exactly the right behavior. So excellent job on this one. We finally get some movement, some traction. But this is what I was talking about before when I said that whatever updates they make, It's not in real time. It's not something that, at least at the moment, is not being deployed mid-build. The updates come each build. So each build you get new features, new logic, and new behavior on the same road. That's why we drive the same road over and over again, to be able to see exactly how things are changing from build to build. And now we see that from 2.3 and 2.4, it had the logic to go and weave and go back and forth, and they both did that to a T. This one now has changed the logic, or changed something that allows it to now go straight and follow the center line and follow the rest of the cars that are going, and override the logic of trying to go to the right. So that's really, really good. And I believe if I look further ahead, you guys might not be able to see it in the camera. There is the train that is coming. So the train is sort of slowing us up here. But that's a good thing to note. Visualization wise, it looks pretty much the same, but a lot more still, especially when you're standing still. The curbs are still. The curves are still, the lines are still, the path planner still flails in the wind. I guess that's the car thinking about different ways and different probabilities of how it could go. But everything else is still. The person walking down the street is very still. He's not glitching in and out. He's not, shaking and vibrating. He's just going straight, just as he is on the road. Parked cars are still a little bit shaky on the parked cars, a little bit of wobbling, but everything else on the road within the immediate radius of the car is extremely solid, and that's what you want to see from these visualizations. Not the lines moving as if the car is trying to figure out where the lines are. You want them to be still in the visualization so that you have the confidence that the car knows that everything is still, because from a human perspective, we only know what the car sees by what it shows us. We know it can see everything, but what it shows us is our visual reference of what it sees and how it reacts to certain things. So if this is calm and relaxed, the car then acts calm and relaxed. And therefore our level of comfort is increased, and our level of confidence that we perceive from the car is also increased. So that's the only thing I'm really noting here, and I can't say that that was very different from last build, but I'm just noticing it right now that everything is a lot more still and stable in the visualization, specifically when standing still. When you move, it's passing the images from one camera to the next and trying to stitch them together and extrapolate what things look like. That's fine. You see a bicycle parked on the side of the road, it's visualizing a motorcycle on the side of the road. It's visualizing a motorcycle right here on the curb with someone on it. So that's pretty cool. But again, everything is just kind of still in the immediate radius. Here we go. If this awkward turn that made it awkward last time, what's it gonna do this time? Still goes wide. Still goes wide this time. That's not good. But the turn is much more composed. I like that. Still goes wide, but the turn is much more composed on this one. So that was pretty good. Pretty good on the end, pretty bad in the beginning. You can't go this way and then turn wide because cars will try to pass you on the right. All right, so first pass, it's looking pretty good, looking pretty promising. Not game changing, but looking pretty promising. Let's go down another path that's a little bit different and see how it fares. All right, we're gonna go down a little bit of a town center in this one just to see if there's any new visualizations, more dense traffic, more parked cars, just to see what that looks like, and also see how the car performs in this different route. So far, I'm loving the visualization, the new visualization that we've been missing. I'm loving the icons, but I'm also noticing that we're not able to change the profile while we're driving. Come on, guys. We can no longer change profiles while we're driving with the menu, with the items, the status bar icons that are here on the map. Only when parked. That's kind of weird. Hopefully we can take that back and change that. I'll bump up to 30. There's also a little icon over the number, your speed, that your set speed. When you flick it up or down, there's a little arrow indicating that it's going up or down respectively. So that's a pretty cool little nice touch to showing, what button you're pressing and how you're flicking it and what direction the speed is going. Okay, lots of dense traffic here. Emergency vehicle coming up. Will it do anything? Let's see. Doesn't visualize it, doesn't slow down, doesn't do anything for it just yet. That's fine, I wasn't expecting anything. But look how still the visuals are here. That's really the key. The stillness of the visuals is really confidence inspiring. Lots and lots of visuals. Big bump. Still need pothole avoidance, Elon. Come on, buddy. Very, very good. Very, very solid in terms of everything that it's visualizing. It's not blipping around. It's not shaking. It's not appearing and disappearing. It's just solid all around. Good job avoiding that truck. Good job staying in the line and following the path. A little weird there. Turned the yoke to a certain extent and wanted to put on the turn signal just because the path changed. And now it's trying to signal a lane change. So it doesn't really know how to handle this particular road, it seems. Let's see what happens when it goes through. Really can't stress enough how solid the visuals are here for everything. Again, really, really confidence inspiring. And confidence is another factor that I didn't put in the different scores that I gave. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. I'll make sure I include it this time when I give this one a score, the level of confidence. So I had safety, I had level of comfort, decision-making, and confidence was the last one that I missed on the last couple drives. Barely in this lane here. Let's see what happens. Proceeds forward. Good job. Slows down a little bit. Not quite phantom braking, but just sort of precautionary braking. Car is sticking out a little bit up here. Let's see how it handles this. Please don't crash into it. Excellent job. Look at this. Excellent job getting around that. But again, just putting on the turn signal a little bit too aggressively. And the lane is kind of highlighted. So here we go. Didn't avoid that obstacle, that can that was rolling across the road, didn't see it, didn't visualize it, didn't react to it. This is going to be interesting because we're coming up on a blind sort of turn where the hill crests and it turns and you really can't see over it. Interesting to see what the car will do and if it freaks out. Okay, light is green. Let's see what happens. Okay, wants to make this turn. It's a different route, but okay. See how blind the turn is? Let's see what it does. Go. See, now it needs to just commit and go. Okay. Hesitated a little bit. That could be dangerous depending on someone coming over that hill. Needs to just commit and go. That seems to be the prevailing theme with these last couple builds, including this one, is just its ability to get out into a lane and then try to decide what it wants to do and not commit. It should make up its mind, look for an opening, and commit. And if it feels like it doesn't have enough time, just stay put, just stop, don't go anywhere. But don't get out in the middle of the lane, creep to the middle of the lane, and then decide, oh, I wanna go right, I wanna go left, halfway turn, a little bit of turn. It needs to know exactly what it needs to do. Very tight turn. Okay, good job handling it, but slow down a little bit too much. Big pothole. Let's go. Now commit and go. Excellent. That's what it needs to do. That's what it needs to do. Just commit. Make a decision, make a path, and commit. Even hard to distinguish the lane lines with all the little marks, tar marks on there. Great job making it solid. Making it solid in the visualization. Should start slowing down now. Good job. Great job. This is a super comfortable drive on FSD Beta. Still have some issues with decision making, still have some issues with confidence, but this is really, really comfortable until this pothole comes up and then doesn't get so comfortable in the other one. All right. But I'm super impressed here. Gets into the right lane. Okay, just tries to sort it out. It's not bad. Good. Stay still. Everything is still on the screen. That's the way it needs to be. The turn coming up into this parking lot is very sharp. I'm going to disengage here just because I don't know how good the car is going to be. Let me give it a chance. It's super, super. You know what? I'm just not going to do it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Look how sharp that is. That's way too sharp. And if it's a sharp turn, I don't trust it. Okay? So there we go. FSD Beta 10.69.3 is complete. It's a wrap. This is where we needed to go here. I'm going to cancel this here. We're at our destination. And we did our 2 passes. This was the second pass of the 2. And that's it. Look at the visualization. Look at all these cars just sitting there, still and confident. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Okay. I haven't noticed any secret summon or auto park features included here, so I'm not going to speak on that. But we got the new park button. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. FSD Beta 10.69.3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments of what you think. But here's our verdict. Here's how we rank it. This was a super comfortable drive. So in terms of level of comfort, I'm actually going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. It was super comfortable almost the entire way, except for the areas where it made poor decisions. So for decision making, I'm going to give it a 7 or 6. I'll call it 6. I'll call it 6. I'll call it 6 for decision making because it decides to make a maneuver midway through the lane, which is dangerous, which I don't like. Everything else decision-wise was pretty solid, but those maneuvers where it tries to turn or it tries to turn in and then turn wide, those are all dangerous decisions to make because you don't know about the people around you, what they're going to do. So I'm going to give it a 6 in terms of decision making. In terms of safety, I'm going to give it a 7. It was pretty safe, didn't do anything awkward, even though it sort of intended to do certain things where it sort of wanted to change lanes and didn't know how to handle a certain intersection. It sort of waited, stayed composed, even though it turned on the signal, but then continued to go straight. So safety was pretty good. I'm going to give that a 7. And confidence, the confidence of the car is really what impressed me today as well. for the most part. Again, those areas where it sort of hesitated are the problems. So I'm also going to give that a 7, right? So we got an 8 in terms of level of comfort. We've got a 6 in terms of decision making. We've got a 7 in terms of safety and a 7 in terms of confidence. And that's what this particular build gets. We'll tally these up as we get more drives in, see how it performs, and then give it a letter grade. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until the next time, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.